Good afternoon. Today is November the 13th, 2012, and the time is about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and today is Tuesday. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Lisa, Lisa, Tinch, Tinch, and I live in Riverdale, Georgia, and that's Clayton County, about 20 miles outside of Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to discuss a little bit about something that has taken place in my local government that I have been trying to seek for help for the last 6 years. And within these 6 years, I have not gotten any results for the last 6 years as well. I want to give you a little story about just a little bit of puzzle pieces because it's so much involved within these 6 years. It's a whole lot to try to fast forward it. But I was awarded a program, awarded a grant in my county to bring your homes up to codes, and that was Clayton County Housing Rehabilitation Program. And within this program, they first initially to me said that I had lead in my house. And excuse me, I want to back up a little bit. I am the owner. I was the owner of this property at 177 Sunrise Circle. And the mortgage that I had at the time that was collecting the payments was Wells Fargo home mortgages. And just wanted to let you know this is my home. It's 177 Sunrise Circle in Riverdale, Georgia. And the mortgage note was paid to Wells Fargo, and it was a FHA loan that they had given to me back in 2000 and 1990, I want to say 1997. But in the meantime, I was awarded this grant, this fund to bring my house up to standard code. But before this happened, I had some plumbing problem going on in the house with a root had grew back into my pipeline, and they could not locate the pipeline. So I needed an assistant because I had spent so much money before I got in this here program to try to help me out. Well, they did send someone out to correct the problem, and it was a difficult situation that I run into because there was no map to say where the pipes were really was. So that work led up to about $5,000, a little bit over 5,000. And so the county, giving me the funds to be able to do that. The second thing is that I had another gentleman to come in to do the inspection. Said that Stephen Shelifon came in to do the inspection for Clayton County Housing Rehabilitation Program. And he marked the work out and told me there was another program in my county, my local county, that I would probably be interested in doing is bringing up single family homes up standard to code. And then the first time I couldn't, name out something that I really needed in the house, and they said that they can come out and evaluate and see what I need and what I didn't need. So I agree with that. So when I did find out, they came back and told me, months later that I had lead abatement in my house. And when they told me the lead abatement and how much I was granted, $76,000 to bring this house up to code. Now, please understand that this house only cost $58,000, but to bring it up to standard code, they're going to charge me $76,000 to bring it up to code. Now, that was a flag to me. Then also when they said that I had lead in the house, well, I asked question concerning the lead because if there was lead in the house, HUD FHA would have never given me a dime to purchase this home with. They would have asked me to go and find something else, or either remove me from the house or do whatever they need to do to dispose of this lead. But my question was that, and the lead abatement that they supposed to put in the house was $26,000 to go towards lead. Now we're not talking about a big home. We're only talking about probably 1,500 square feetish home, and it was just a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, dining room, living room, kitchen, and a den. So we're not talking about a huge house, but $26,000 worth of lead had to be removed out the house. It was another flag that raised up. My question was to them at the time, if I had $26,000 worth of lead in the house, how are you going to test it on sheetrock wall? I didn't know that you can test lead on sheetrock wall. So they said they would dispose of the lead. When I asked for the database, it was handprinted out When I asked how did they, how did they come up with discover lead, there was no database on that as well. I asked had they ever reported to the state of Georgia that there was lead, so to give them opportunity to come out. They didn't do that. I asked them to come out, State Farm, which is my homeowner insurance at the time, to come out and see was there lead. I asked Wells Fargo, FHA, if there was lead in the house. Someone should have been notified there was lead in the house. But they tried to cover it up and said that I did have lead in the house, and eventually found out I did not have lead in this house at all. Well, the 47.5, the money that was left over from the lead, that they paid the contractor off. They paid him the full amount of the $76,000, the full amount. So when they and according to the program, the homeowner has to sign off on every payment. I don't remember signing up on one. That was $11,000 because I couldn't see the work what he said he was doing to get that kind of money. Um, but the county went behind my back and paid the contractor that was um, Bryant Safeway Home. Bryant Thompson. I'm sorry, Bryant Thompson with Safeway Home Mortgages. That was his contractor that had this here job. Well, after then, when they paid him, they brought in another, got another contractor, remove, try to correct what the first contractor did. And because the first contractor left so many holes underneath of the sink, he left where he was putting in a new sink in the kitchen, where the bathrooms, where he was putting in it, he left big gaps of holes, probably about this here, and I have pictures of those as well. And when he left them, the pipe only this big, but then you got this big hole underneath of your sink about this big. So with this here, then rats began to come in my home. Rat came in the house, and a rat bit my son, because it got just that bad, and the health department had to take us out the house again because we had moved back in. The health department had to take us out, and from there, they tried to bring in a third contractor. Well, the third contractor looking promising, like he was going to do whatever necessary that he needed to do to take care of the matter. Well, kind of find of it, the third contractor got paid, and we're talking about from August until October. The third contractor got paid between 38,000 to $40,000, and the work never did get completed. Well, in October, November, the county had this agreed on without me. I'm never in the picture of this here. To agree to demolish this house with, without my knowledge, back in October and November of 2007. Decided to put it in the paper. I gotten it after the fact. They run it in the paper. You never had a judge to sign off on it. You never had a court enforcement to sign off on it. I never went before the board, Clayton County Board of Commissioner, to go ahead and do it that way, the legal way. There was no judge to sign off on this place at all. They contact Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo and the county, Wells Fargo legal team and the county legal team was all doing the connection and talking, and that was it. But the tax assessment, Clayton County tax assessment did not know that the house was removed. Um, when I got to looking at everything that needed to take place in this house, it never gotten taken place before they demolished this house. So and and then you will see, and I have all this in document. You will see that you first got an issue, $76,000 was taken. You got another initial, $11,000 was taken. Then you got another program that's taken is 38 from 38 to 40,000. But HUD had to come back and tell the county, Clayton County, to repay back $104,404 and some change. Well, this is all the money that been going through the pipeline with my house. So the county decided they're going to tear this house down and rebuild this house back. But this is the story going to get you really off your feet because it's still to this day getting me. They demolished this house with the FHA mortgage remaining balance on this house for $58,000. They did not um, contact HUD. They did not contact FHA. They did not contact State Farm. And I was trying to do all this to warn them what's going to happen to the mortgage. that's left on this house. Who's got to be responsible for that when they demolished this house? I never could get a clear answer to what they was practically doing. It's just almost like they took my house away from me and just decided they're going to do what they want to do. And regardless of what I wanted, they're going to do what they wanted to do. Well, from there, it went to and the same time we're going through this here period of time, it might seem kind of confusing, but this period of time, we're living in a one-bedroom hotel for over 3 years. For over 3 years, under HUD funding that they was paying the hotel $600 a week for the last 3 years. And I kept going and saying, when are you going to be in my house back? When are you going to be in my house back? You all said you all going to do this, and you said you're going to do this here. I have pleaded to my county. I have pleaded to the law enforcement. The police report, I've done at least 49 police report, and not one of them been investigated. I've been to my DA and did several numbers of report, and she still would not do nothing. Now, district attorney of Clayton County. I went to my sheriff office of Clayton County. They would not do anything. And of course, I went to Sally Yates, our district attorney for the state of Georgia, and she refused to take care of this here. I've been to HUD OIG, and they refuse to do anything about it, which they see that it is a problem, and they know it is a problem, and would not even touch this case. So I'm pleading and begging for someone to answer this here, because I and my family have been left homeless for the last 5 years. Well, this is 2008 when they done it, January the 2nd, 2008. 9, 10, 11, 12, and it's coming up to 5 years that I've been patiently, willingly, and trying to do everything that I possibly can to get my home back. But let me give you another little side story about this here situation. It This is also on YouTube too. If you want to visit this here and see it for yourself. Again, right there on YouTube is Ms.Tinch unlawfully demolition of 177 Sunrise Circle. And it would come very shocking to you to see that a fire chief of this county is ongoing with this situation here. You will see that the fire chief has forged my name on document. You will see that the fire chief has contracted my home out to another demolition company. And when I really found out, it's very disturbing to me to see that you have the senator, my representative, my senator, District 76, 74, who company was the one to demolition my house. You have the senator of the state of Georgia from Clayton County and Henry County, who company was the company that demolished my house. Well, when I spoke to Miss Valencia C, Senator Valencia C, and that's SEACY, when I really tried to talk with her about it, the situation, she told me to get my paperwork together, and she was the company that demolished my house. What you have, the fire chief has forged, and I have this in document. The fire chief has forged my name on the paper, not not forged, but he signed over the demolition process to give it to another demolition company, where it says the homeowner. You will see the fire chief's signature, but you would never see my signature on anything. You will see that the fire chief had an analyze about what situation going on. The house needed just basic repairs. The house wasn't that bad that you could not bring the house back at the code. You have Alice Gohelis is the fire chief who operate this here whole thing and took it to this level. You have the captain, Landry Murphison, who is another with the fire department who is being involved in here. Then you have my chairman of my county, Chairman Elgin Bell, and the fire chief are fighting with each other, and one wants to show the other what they are doing and what they are mistaking funds, but I'm the person, I and my children are being set up in the midst of two politicians fighting. And no one would touch it because the fact they're looking at who is doing it. And I feel like this is not justice to me or my family. We've been homeless for the last 5 years. Um, I paid my mortgage every month on time. I was never late on my mortgage from 2007 up until I had to continue to pay mortgage on a house up until 2009, well, 2010, with no house being there. They demolished this house September the 2nd, 2008. I was paying a mortgage on a lot, like a house is there and there's no house. But no one ever cleared up that mortgage loan. Now, you will find that they were trying to clear it up in 2011, and think but just because I'm supposed to just walk away. When it comes down to justice, this is not justice here in this county, what they have done to me and my family. This is not justice. And I feel like I am the victim. I am the victim here. My children are the victim. My children had to be raised up from house, hotel to hotel for the last 5 years. My children had to graduate from high school in a hotel, being homeless, being shipped from one place to the other. And it's not fair to me and my family. Because we got leaders here who taken an oath for office here. And if you have leaders who do this here to citizens, something is wrong with this picture. So I'm pleading for the Justice Department to investigate this here. Something is wrong with this here. And then on top of that, this is going to really blow your mind. When they got ready to demolish my house, I was not around. When they got ready to take my furniture out my house, I was not around. They took my furniture without my permission. They took my daughter's car and it's been parked at the fire station for the last 5 years. They have my furniture stored up in a warehouse of an auction building, and it been there for over 5 years, just piled up in a corner, which they promised to get a professional mover to move this furniture. We've been homeless when we left my home. When I left my home, I only left with 3 weeks of clothes because we didn't think we were supposed to stay out that long. But those 3 years been 5 years. I've been evicted out the same apartment 3 times because the county would not keep their word what they says. My car's been vandalized by someone who we don't know as this day. I mean, actually had a bomb in my car. Then we have been to the point where they have tried to do everything to stop me because of the fact that I am speaking about this here. And this is not something that I take lightly. This is my home. This was my home. My money paid for this house. And this is where I wanted to raise my children in a decent home, give them a decent life. But because of what leaders has done, it's not fair to me or my children. And I am begging for help because something is wrong here. That you have people in leadership position taking this kind of money and can't even give me a house. Something is wrong with this here. When you have people like this here that's supposed to be representative for you, but then you feel like you the victim, like you done something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I have been working on this case for the last 6 years. Then also, one of the things that they done is that you have people who play with people's life. I don't care to play with people's life, like the way my life been played with or my children's life been played with. And I feel like they should have a better life than this here life that they have had the last 5 years. Um, all I beg and believe for the Justice Department to look into this case because these are leadership. These are county officials who has actually took over $500,000 federal funds, and then you come back and you demolish a house with a FHA mortgage on it, and they know it was wrong, and to the point that they didn't make it right anymore. And Wells Fargo was very knowledgeable of this because I went to Wells Fargo, I went to my State Farm agency. I did everything in my power to say, what about the mortgage on this house? I never signed anything in front of the chairman saying, okay, I agree with you all. They brought the paper to me the day they demolished this house. And matter of fact, they gave it to me after the fact they done demolished this house. And then if you look in this case very carefully, you will see in 2007 they put it in the paper. I didn't know anything about that. They had the people to come and move my furniture out of my house. I didn't know nothing about that. They removed the windows out of the house. I didn't know nothing about that. It's just everything I did not know. Because at the time you say, well, why didn't you know? Because I was ill at the time. At that particular time, I was ill and wasn't getting around as much as I was because I just gotten over a stroke. So they kind of knew that. But in the fact that my daughter was there, she could have been, she was old enough to take, some kind of initial charge in what's going on. Not people make charge and make decision on my house. And to this day, they come back and says, oh, I want this gorgeous makeup home. It's not the gorgeous makeup home. It's the principle of the matter. Is what has been taking place in the justice centers and how they're covering up things. I'm just pleading and begging for a investigation on this case. I mean, you have head officials and local leaders who has taken money from this program and then to turn around and demolish your house with a FHA mortgage on it. I just don't see how that is working out very well for my county. I am Ms.Tinch. This is just only to have, but I have all this in document, everything from the letter, signing over, the insurance companies, the battle they're going through with that, emails where Wells Fargo has given the county permission and come back and said they didn't have anything to do with it. Oh, yes, they did because I got it in email that they had a lot to do with it. And when I got the message from Joanna Hamburg from Wells Fargo said to me, she said, Ms.Tinch, I and Michael Smith, the staff attorney, are taking care of this here. Now, how can you make a decision taking care of something when neither one of them name is on this here mortgage? Ms.Tinch's name is on here. Let Ms.Tinch decide to do what she want to do. And I mean, manipulate the situation is to the fact that you would not find anything pleasant about this case. The judges here sides with this head officials here. I mean, they have gotten to the point where when I say RICO Act is conspiracy, there is some conspiracy going on with this case. I mean, it's to the point where it points to everyone, straight up with everyone. And everyone keep denying that they didn't have anything to do with this house. But I am pleading and begging for the Justice Center of Washington, D.C. to look into this matter because something is wrong. I'm begging and pleading for 6 years. Something is wrong. And if you want to reach me to get more information, you can reach me by calling 678-698-2790. That number again is 678-698-2790. The email is Lisa, Lisa, Tinch, Tinch, at 316 at yahoo.com. I am always willing, and I will take this here YouTube, this here clip that I'm doing, and do it as a claim because there is something happened. There was no lead in the house. That was money taken. They demolished this house with the FHA mortgage. This is a federal loan that was left on this house, and you tore the house down. Then on top of that, you kept passing through money after money after money, and nothing got solved. Then you had to pay back money, and nothing never got solved. I can't even get a police report. Out of 47 police reports, the police department won't look at it. I done did about 13 report to the sheriff's office, to the DA's office, to Miss Sally Yates' office. I did everything that I possibly can. And at this point, I think that the federal government, and the U.S. Department of District Attorney ought to do something about this here. This is not a story that I'm making up. You also can get me on YouTube, Ms.Tinch, unlawful demolition of a home in Clayton County on a rehab program that's supposed to help single parents. This didn't help me. This made me homeless. I mean, it makes me homeless. This did not help me. I still don't have a home. Lost so much money, lost so much things. My children didn't enjoy my children. This is being cruel to me and my family. Look forward on hearing from you real soon. Thank you very much.